But that's perfectly fine because, as always, there is a plan B. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Deebz here, bringing you people my week 2 of the Ultimate Battle League, where I'm going to be going up against none other than another new draft competitor by the name of SilverBeanie, who's the coach of the Crystal Palossands. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna show you guys this team here and now, and just by looking at it, once again, my matchup here is actually pretty damn good because, in case you haven't noticed, Pikachu goes in hard on this dude. Like, granted, he does have certain Pokemon like Kresellekey and Como, which need to get whittled down a bit, as well as a potential SPDF Gliscor. But just by looking at his team in general, it's as clear as day that Pikachu is gonna have a field day with it. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna be the focus of my team. And with that being said, let me just show you what I got right now. We got Ghetto, the Mental Harp Shuckle with Sticky Web, Stealth Rock, Encore, and Gaster Acid. And this week it's more of a SPDF set due to the fact that mainly due to the fact that Chandelure is a very annoying piece of garbage, yes. Because, like, Scarf Chandelure in general, it has some quite alright matchup against me, I guess you could say. So, in a sense, I have SPDF Shuckle to neutralize it somewhat. As if he does go for a flamethrower, he's not going to be able to do jack crap. Yes. Now, you know what? The hell needs to be PG. It's not going to be able to do jack shit to me, as I will be able to leniently set my webs up, set my rocks up. And, like, if he locks himself into flamethrower, I'll just encore it and then just go into one of my other Pokemon, like my Mega Blastoise. So, yeah. And if he goes for a Shadow Ball specifically, I know my Weavile will be able to take that leniently well, which is actually why I do have this set with me. An Adamant Weavile with an E-Belt with Poison Jab, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, and Pursuit. And sorry for the noise upstairs, guys, because apparently this office that lives on the next floor loves to change its setup every single day. Really frustrating, and I just don't know what to say. So yeah, I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna have to bear with this because, again, like, I'm kind of in a rush because I do have this match. I do have to narrate this match, and at the same time, I'm gonna need to do my GBA work, which takes a good chunk of time. So there's that. Either way, we have Poison Jab, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, and Pursuit. Pursuit is there specifically to trap his Chandelure. And especially the Kresellekey, should the situation come down to it, because in doing so, that just opens up a lot of doors for some of my other Pokemon in general. And in this matchup in general, I don't really think that priority here is much of a necessity. So, which is mainly why I have an E-Belt with a Poison Jab here with me, because it guarantees 2 shots Tapu Fini with a max HP Tapu Fini with no defense investment, which I could definitely see him bring. So there's that. And of course, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, and Pursuit are my main stabs. And yeah. Next up, we got the star of the team, the Rainmaker, Okada, the Pikachu, with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hand Power Ice, and Nasty Plot. Now, I did have a different move here, which I will not disclose to you because I think that I can actually capitalize it for future weeks and catch my opponents off guard. So yeah. But, like, I literally made this change 30 minutes before the match because I realized that Nasty Plot Pikachu just goes in hard on my dude here, because he has absolutely no proper switches whatsoever to this thing save a Kresellekey. But even though he may just use that against me, I still do have a Pursuit Trapper and Weavile and a Great Pivot in my Decidueye to be able to trap it leniently. So there's that. So yeah, like I'm gonna be running a special set this time around with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Hand Power Ice, and Nasty Plot. And while it may seem counterproductive considering I have Nasty Plot with Volt Switch, fact of the matter is there really wasn't any other move that I could have potentially put in it that Pikachu would have been able to benefit from. And at the same time, this set in general just beats him clean. So yeah. Next up we got Wujishang. Wujishang, the Choice Scarf Infernape with U-Turn, Close Combat, Encore, and Flare Blitz. Now this nickname is actually something that was given to me by my boys from the BD Battlers, Arik and Arifin. So yeah, it's a pretty sick name, like it's from Brawlhalla. But yeah, it has U-Turn, Close Combat, Encore, and Flare Blitz. And the reason why you're seeing Encore, Choice Scarf Encore is because on the off chance that he brings stuff like Calm Mind Cresselia, Calm Mind Tapu Fini, as well as a Dragon Dance Mega Gyarados, I can leniently switch into this with my Choice Scarf Infernape because I know for a fact that my opponent may just try to get greedy here and just lock this thing into Encore. And like, you guys already know what kind of a player I am. I am not afraid to try my luck out against my opponents. So yeah, there's that. This is essentially going to be making sure that I stop the sweep then and there. And in Mega Gyarados' case, I'll just knock it out with a Close Combat because like on the turn it sets up a Dragon Dance, which he very well could considering the structure of my team. Especially with my Mega Blastoise being present, I'm just gonna be able to hard swap into this and just knock this thing out with a Close Combat. So yeah. Flare Blitz is there because it's one of my main stabs, and of course U-Turn is there to instigate momentum, which would therefore create a very nice Volturn core with both my Pikachu and my Infernape. So there is that. Next up we got Kitamura, the Mega Blastoise with Rapid Spin, Mirror Code, Ice Beam, and Aura Sphere. And here's the set. Check this out. This set essentially makes sure that I have a much more lenient time taking on some of his offensive Pokemon by the names of Komo-o, as well as his Mega Gyarados, because this guaranteed lives a crunch at +1, like a +1 crunch for Mega Gyarados rather leniently, and I can fire back very hard with a modest Aura Sphere. And like Mirror Code is there just to surprise the Tapu Fini, because on the off chance he does choose to go for a Nature's Madness, which I could definitely see him bring considering the structure of my team again, I can easily just go for a Mirror Code and put this thing in such a ridiculously low amount of HP, which would therefore create a lot of room for both my Weavile and especially my Infernape. So this is mainly here to surprise him, and at the same time it's here to make sure that I don't also get walled by stuff like his Chandelure, because if he goes for a Shadow Ball, I'll be able to leniently take that before retaliating with a Mirror Code and knocking it out. So there is that. Last but not least, we got the phenomenal AJ Styles, the Decidueye with Roost, Haze, Spirit Shackle, and Swords Dance. Now this is a my bad. So this time I'm gonna be bringing a physically defensive set, as like, here's my thought process going into this. Komo-o to this team in general is rather a bit of a nuisance, I guess you could say. And just by bringing this Fizz Def set in general, I'm guaranteed to be able to live any single +1 hit from this thing. Like a +1 non-life orb outrage literally does 66% to me before I can just haze and then just pretty much neutralize whatever boost he got, Dragon Dancing boost he got. And at the same time, it also ensures that if he brings something like a Fighting DMZ Komo-o just for my Klefki, this essentially just has a very easy time taking this thing on. But most importantly, this is here to trap the Cresselia with a Spirit Shackle before I just eventually start Swords Dancing up, roosting off all that damage, and then just knocking this thing out. Because sorry about that, guys. Even though I'm physically defensive here, Cresselia really cannot do anything to me at all. Like a +1 Ice Beam just doesn't even do 50% for crying out loud, because Cresselia just has an abysmal special attack in general. So I can essentially just capitalize on that and just start roosting off all that damage before setting up a Swords Dance, hazing whatever Calm Minds he could potentially provide, before proceeding to 1v1 it with Spirit Shackle. So in that sense, that's pretty much the hypothesis behind the set. It also ensures that I have an easier time taking on a Gliscor without any attack investment, because this just choose knockoff anytime, any day. And like after a roost, I just outright wall this thing and set up on its face. So there is that. So with that being said, that's gonna be it for the team builder section. Hope you all enjoyed, and with that being said, let's move on to the battle. Okay guys, we're back right now, and as you can see, my opponent Daniel more or less brought every single Pokemon that I expected him to bring, and I would be lying if I said I was not relieved by the sight of no Mega Gyarados, because that just basically ensures that there's one less complicated way of dealing with such a threat, and at the same time this just opens up a lot of doors for my Weavile in general, because it just goes in hard on him big time. So yeah, here I'm actually going to expect him to want to lead off with his Galvantula to get up Web's turn 1, because that's pretty much what I expected when I saw Galvantula on my screen to begin with. So I'm just gonna try to set the webs up with my Shuckle turn 1, and as well as get up Rocks 2 while I'm at it, so that I'm pretty much in a pretty good position here and now. So yeah. So with that being said, of course, enough of me rambling on. Let's start with the match, shall we? So yeah, my man Daniel is going to be issuing the challenge, as he is going to be leading off with his Destiny, aka the Tapu Fini. You are going to see some momentary lag because my Citra ends up being crap at times because of how crappy my laptop is, as he is just going to be able to set up the Misty Surge, no shit Sherlock, and I'm actually just going to opt to hard swap out into my Decidueye because I kind of was expecting a Whirlpool set with Defog, just so that he ensures that I'm not able to set up any hazards whatsoever. So I'm going to swap out in my Decidueye, as he's going to swap out into his Gliscor. Now, I don't necessarily want to take a knockoff turn 1, so I'm going to actually opt to hard swap into my Mega Blastoise, as he is going to go for a knockoff that's going to be doing absolutely 0 damage. And now I pretty much get a very free Mega Evolution off, which is exactly what I need, because like I could have definitely made a prediction and hard swapped out in my Pikachu, but the thing is, the Mega Evolution is actually pretty damn nice for me, and because due to the fact that it gives me that extra bulk which I need to play the rest of the match with. So I'm gonna just get a free Ice Beam off, don't really see any reason not to. And now I'm going to attempt to go for a Mirror Coat, because on the off chance he does choose to go for Nature's Madness, I'm gonna do a lot of damage to it. But he shows that he has the Calm Mind, which is so damn scary, as my Mirror Coat is going to get a pop off right now, and he's gonna know the hidden tech that I got with me, which is kind of unfortunate, as now that pretty much forces me to hard swap out into my Infernape. And I figured that he would definitely not attack me here and now, considering how the next Moonblast is definitely not gonna knock out my Mega Blastoise due to the bulk that it has. The natural bulk that it has. So I'm going to make the very aggressive play into my Infernape, as he does go for a Calm Mind, and that's pretty damn awesome, as now I am guaranteed 110% to be able to Encore this thing, and this thing is not even a Z-move user, and he also has a lefties with him anyway, so I'm going to be able to lock him into his Calm Mind. He chooses to stay in, which is in itself a very questionable play, because a Z-Gunk Shot would have easily been able to knock him out, and he should definitely be aware of the possibility that I could run such a thing, because I have an Infernape and he does have a Tapu Fini anyways. But it is what it is, as now I'm going to choose to hard swap out into my Decidueye, because A, it can haze off all of the stat boosts, and at the same time it can catch the potential Cresselia switch in, which is exactly what he's going to do right now, and that is so good for me, because now I'm essentially guaranteed a Spirit Shackle off, as he actually is going to choose to stay in and want to set up on a Decidueye, something which I thought was a very questionable play in general, because it doesn't matter that my Decidueye is Fizz Def. There's no chance in hell that Cresselia can beat this thing 1v1, and you're gonna see right now, because spoilers, he does actually have Ice Beam with him, which he is going to go for right now. And again, despite the fact that I'm physically defensive and I only have like 20 investment in Spadef, that's not gonna be even able to get do even 50% to me. So I'm just gonna haze off all that Calm Mind boost which he was able to get, and now I'm pretty much free to set up a Swords Dance now, because again, an Ice Beam without a Calm Mind boost is actually going to do jack shit to me. So yeah, he's gonna go for the Ice Beam now. You're gonna see it do absolutely pitiful damage, as I'm gonna get the very free Swords Dance off. And now what I'm going to do is pretty much attempt to start roosting off all this damage, so that my Decidueye ends up being in a healthy chunk of HP before I choose to attack it with a Spirit Shackle, and therefore knock it out with 2 hits, because like again, Cresselia cannot beat me 1v1 unless he's able to get Ice Beam Freeze off on me, which is pretty much what he's going to attempt to do right now. And yeah, he's not going to be able to do that, as I'm just going to pretty much go for a Roost. Again, don't really see a reason not to, as I'm going to get back to a comfortable amount of HP. And I'm going to pretty much go for another Roost again, because again, I want this thing to be in a very healthy amount, so that Gliscor is not going to be... Gliscor and some of his other physical attackers are not able to pick me off with any single hit they want to go for. So he's going to go for another Ice Beam again in hopes of freezing me, but he gets it right now. But psych, I end up thawing out right now, and I'm just gonna go for Roost here now. So yeah, my heart pretty much just jumped on my throat when that happened, but thankfully the phenomenal AJ Styles is gonna be able to not get hacked out on this one. And now I'm pretty much in a very comfortable amount of HP. As now, because of the freeze that he was able to get on me, I'm not going to play around with freeze hacks. I'm going to choose to attack this thing here and now with the Spirit Shackle, because I got absolutely no reason not to. As I'm going to be able to connect it, and I'm going to be able to snag a crit on this thing and knock it out with one hit, which is actually good for him, because the thing is, I would have just, had this not killed, I would have pretty much just roosted off all this damage, and my Decidueye would have been even in a healthier amount. But he's going to go into his Gliscor, and now what I'm going to choose to do is actually choose to just get a roost off, because I don't really see myself needing leftovers for the remainder of this match. And on the off chance that he's able to set up that he chooses to set up a Swords Dance, my AJ Styles will be healthy again, and then I'm going to be able to hard swap out into my Mega Blastoise, because +2 knockoff into +2 Earthquake is not going to be able to kill this thing off, which is actually pretty damn crazy, because yeah, Mega Blastoise is naturally fat in general. But I'm going to go for another Spirit Shackle right now. He does choose to go out in his Galvantula. And now, expecting him to want to set up his webs, which is pretty much why I made this play to begin with, I'm going to go out in my Shuckle to make sure that I set up webs with him. But he makes another very questionable play by choosing to Bug Buzz me instead of setting up his webs, because in the grand scheme of things, he would have definitely benefited much more by setting up his webs early on. So webs there. But either way, I'm going to be able to set up the webs with his Galvantula as well, along with the fact that I'm going to be able to set up my rocks. And unfortunately, the Bug Buzz is going to be doing more damage than I wanted it to, mainly because of the fact that he was able to get a Spadef drop on me, which is kind of annoying. But it's fine, because I'm able to get both my webs and my rocks up, and now I'm just going to pretty much lock this thing in Encore to ensure that he's locked into Bug Buzz, which pretty much gives me a very free invite into my Wujishang, which is my Infernape, and I pretty much quad resist his Bug Stab, so you're gonna see right now the Bug Buzz doing absolutely pitiful damage. And yeah, he's not gonna be able to get another Spadef drop, which is actually pretty sick for me, as he's gonna go for one final Bug Buzz in an attempt to get whatever damage off on me as possible. But I'm just gonna opt to go straight for a U-turn and just outright knock this thing out with my Choice Scarf Infernape. So yeah, down goes the Galvantula. Life's looking pretty damn good, as now what I'm going to do is go hard back out into the phenomenal AJ Styles, because again, this thing's matchup is pretty damn good, and this invites in the Lumiere, which you're going to see is a Chandelure, which is going to be taking the Stealth Rock damage, which is again a very crucial thing for this match. But yeah, he's going to get caught by the webs, all that good stuff. And now here I'm actually just going to opt to stay in and sack off my Decidueye and go for a Spirit Shackle, because my thought process was that if he was a Sub-Combine variant and he were to go for a Substitute right now, that'd actually be very damn bad for me, because I have absolutely no way of hitting this thing without, you know, letting one of my other Pokemon die. So I'm going to go into my Weavile, but this was actually a very huge misplay on my behalf, because it didn't dawn to me that a Choice Scarf Chandelure would still be able to outspeed my Weavile, despite him being able to take the webs, because the thing is, I lost my speed through webs as well. So yeah, he's actually not going to be able to understand that, and instead hard swap out into his Tapu Fini for whatever reason there may be. And that just pretty much gives away the fact that he actually is a Choice Scarf Chandelure, which again is another very questionable play on my opponent's behalf. So yeah, I'm rather shocked. I was rather surprised when he did that, but it's whatever. As now I'm pretty much given a very free switch in into my Okada, aka my Pikachu, and now like what I can do is just get off any damage on his Pokemon by just going for a Volt Switch here and now. And I don't expect him to want to go to his Gliscor, mainly because of the fact that last time somebody tried to do that, they ended up losing his Garchomp in the process when I made the play with my Nidoqueen. So I'm actually going to go for a Volt Switch right now. It was a very free play anyways, but he's going to opt to go out into his Como, which is so damn good for me, because now what I can do is just pretty much opt to go hard back out into my Kitamura, which would have to be my Mega Blastoise. And I'm going to take this opportunity to at least try to get the spin off, because again, webs are very annoying to me. And as part of my plan, it would definitely be in my best interest to get them off as early as possible so that my Weavile and my Pikachu pretty much just have a field day with it. And he's just gonna go out into his Tapu Fini and just allow me to get the spin off, which is very damn good for me, as now what I can do is just get it off all good. And yeah, like, this just pretty much shifts the momentum entirely into my favor and just ensures that, like, my offensive threats are gonna have a field day with it. But yeah, not wanting this thing to set up another Calm Mind on me, I'm gonna actually opt to go hard out into my Okada, because with my HP investment, I'm guaranteed to live a Moonblast with no investment whatsoever, and you're gonna be able to see just that happen. But regrettably, he's gonna be able to get a special attack drop on me, which is so bad on so many levels. As now, like, Pikachu's offensive presence is gonna be a bit neutered at that. But either way, I'm still gonna try to go for a Volt Switch, because even if he goes into his Gliscor, he goes into his Gliscor. That's gonna be pretty damn bad for me. But like, again, I have a healthy Mega Blastoise with me, so it should be fine. But instead, he just goes out into his Como. And now what I'm gonna do is just take this as the perfect opportunity to go out into my Weavile. Now, in hindsight, this was actually a bad play, because since this is draft format, resist berries and unorthodox sets are a thing, and you're gonna see that right now, as I'm gonna go for an Icicle Crash, thinking it will still knock it out due to the rather low amount of HP Como is in, but it did absolutely nothing, and I'm pretty much done. Psych, Weavile is gonna get the flinch off, which is so damn bad for my opponent. And now I'm just gonna go for a Poison Jab, trying to pick this thing off, and it was at this moment that Uzi knew he fucked up. His Como lives at 1 for crying out loud. Despite the fact that it was in such a low amount of HP, he's able to take that hit so well and knock me out, which is very bad for me, because now this puts me in a rather precarious position. But that's perfectly fine, because as always, there is a plan B. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, my round 1 Pikachu is going to put in the finest of work, and now all I got to do is just spam close combat 2 times with my Choice Scarf, Woojishang the Infernape. Down goes the Tapu Fini, and last but not least, there is a Como, which guaranteed will not live an Adamant Stab close combat. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that is a 3-0 victory for the BPC. Too sweet me. You see, people have been talking so much smack about Pikachu, thinking that it has absolutely no place in draft format. Well, joke's on it, well, joke's on them, because Pikachu just put in the finest of work. And I gotta say, man, guys, that was a pretty damn awesome game. Just being able to utilize Pikachu in the end was just absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, if we were to talk real, obviously the Icicle Crash flinch actually did matter somewhat on that Como, because had he never been flinched in the first place, he would have definitely been outside of range from a Drain Punch, outside of range from an HP Ice from my Pikachu, which definitely would have made the game a bit different, but at the same time, I really don't think it would have, due to the fact that, here's the thing. If his Como was able to knock out my Weavile after not getting flinched, I would have definitely gone out into my Mega Blastoise and scared this thing out. Because 110%, I do see him want to keep this thing alive, because it still allows him to take a hit from my Pikachu, but most importantly from my Choice Scarf Infernape as well, which I'm pretty sure he was able to decipher after seeing how I played the game with it. So in that sense, I would have actually just hard swapped out, expecting his Tapu Fini switching into my Pikachu, and then considering the fact that he needs to keep his Tapu Fini alive simply for the sake of being able to take on my Mega Blastoise 1v1, as it otherwise just runs to the remainder of his team very leniently, especially after it's been given away that his Komo has absolutely no attack investment whatsoever and is a physically defensive variant. I would have expected him to sack off either his Gliscor or his Chandelure and set up a nasty plot before getting an actual proper Pikachu sweep. So in that sense, I don't think that like the flinch would have guaranteed been the thing that stripped him of the victory, because in reality it definitely would have forced me to make more aggressive plays here and there. But in the grand scheme of things, I still think that my Pikachu would have been able to win the game, because that was pretty much the plan that I had after I've seen the Icicle Crash not be able to knock this thing out. So either way, it is what it is. It's the game of Pokemon. There's not much you can do about it. But still, good game to my man Daniel. Like, I will still say that he did make a bit of misplays throughout the game that really skewed it a lot in my favor per se. But at the same time, it's to be expected, really. Like, he's to my knowledge at least, he is still new to the scene of draft format, and hopefully, like, everybody's got to start from somewhere. I knew I sucked when I first started. But either way, he's a pretty nice guy. He was very chill about me being able to hack him. Even though I haven't seen his... Obviously, I haven't seen his narration yet. But either way, he always came off to me as a nice kind of dude. He compromised for me regarding the time scheduling. And he's a pretty friendly chap in general. So I will leave his links in the description down below. Guys, feel free to check him out. I'm sorry I couldn't say it sooner. But yeah, we're currently 2-0. We got a +5 differential. We be looking pretty neat. Nice and clean. But as far as next week goes, we're going to be facing an old friend by the name of Danganronpa. And trust me when I tell you guys, you ain't gonna want to miss that, because let's just say it's gonna be a huge meme off. So yeah, I hope y'all are looking forward to that. And with that being said, of course, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this in any way, feel free to like this video as well as share it with your other friends and tell them to sub to me as well, because the thing is, guys, I'm very adamant on making sure that I reach 1K by the end of this year. And yeah, to do that, obviously I gotta be more consistent with my content, and I definitely plan on doing just that. So yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed, and with that, I'll see y'all on the flip side. Too sweet me.